Hello and good morning. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Stupid. And you're here with me today, Compound.
And I'm proud. And today we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Gok. I'll be talking about my personal experiences from gambling.
That's right.
Yay.
Today we're talking about the world's one of the most controversial topic, gambling. So today we want to start off with some light activities. We're gonna play a light gambling. It's actually not gambling because no real money is lost. We're actually playing a game called online Blackjack. So currently with me now we have Gok and Proud, and we're betting on a game of Blackjack. Let's begin. Yeah. You're already betting Gok.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I got a blackjack.
I don't understand how this is going.
You say hit. You say hit. Hit means hit me more.
Oh no.
So, if you stay or rest, that means you're not getting any more cards.
There's no button to get a new card.
Oh, last round you couldn't because the share got a blackjack. No, not exactly a blackjack, but 21. So it's a complete and absolute win for them.
Oh my god, bust.
Bye bye, compound.
โอ้โห Go. Master of Blackjack. Okay, now you bet, pal. You're gonna double.
Have no money, sorry.
Oh, come on.
I think we ought to say which card we got as well,
Oh, sure.
in order for listeners to get hyped up, I guess.
Yeah, I can edit the dead air parts out.
It's not dead air, it's anticipation.
Yup.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I got blackjack.
Oh my god.
Should have bet more.
King and A.
Damn. Bro, like 2 minutes ago, I had the highest amount of money and now I'm down to what?
That's called gambling.
Yeah, that's called gambling. I think that's it. Maybe because my phone's battery is dying as well. But if we keep on playing this podcast, it's gonna be a full EP of us playing blackjack. So, why do you think people gamble? Go.
I think there's many reasons. And for example, some people could be doing it for the thrills of it. And some people could be doing it from the benefits that you get, which is not a lot, but it seems like a lot because gambling, it doesn't only apply to these casino games, but it applies to gambling in real life, betting on something and stuff like that. And when you're betting on something, some people use it as a coping thing to cope for losses or cope for when they have to lose something, they might at least gain something from it. But most of the time, it's totally dopamine thing. And that's why it's kind of an addictive thing too. There are some cases that the complex comes off the same as alcoholic people, where this kind of stuff just makes you feel better about yourself for a short moment and then you go back to hating on yourself. But it is that's why it's an addiction. And yeah, there's some reasons, but people who do it as an addiction, that's definitely destructive. But for me, I kinda do it because it is something that it is unexpected. It's something unbeknownst to you. You are going into something predicting the future and stuff. It's fun. It can be exciting. It can be rewarding even, and it's for me, it's just something fun I do with my friends and stuff. It nothing, no hard feelings, no hard money.
I guess you don't bet. You have limit. You do not go further than this type of bet, and that's probably why.
You could say I have a limit, but sometimes I do go over the limit, so I don't really know. It's a slippery slope where you might start out small, but if you like it, then it depends.
May I ask, what is the furthest you've you've been to?
Furthest like personal with my friends is like I think 4,000, 5,000 baht.
Ooh, sweet. You lose it or you won?
We don't know yet because it's like a future betting. It's like betting on something like who will get the better grade next semester.
Ooh, that's kind of like a good bet though.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, technically it's not that. Technically it's like how much will you get in the like for your GPA for this year, which is kind of less good. But like yeah, and it is kind of like it's not really self-improvement bet, but you can make it one.
I guess. I mean, if it's my bet, it would be a very strong incentive for me to study. But it actually depends. Like, if you wanted to let it go and let the nature decide who's the winner, then I guess that can be
Yeah,
entertaining as
like
well.
my bet is like,
So,
oh, my friend will get this GPA and he bet another GPA. So it doesn't really like encourages me to do anything. I'm just betting on someone else's result, which is kind of like horse betting. Not
oh,
good, not so good of a bet. Yeah,
I
okay.
see. So, what do you guys think about stock? Do you think it's like a form of gambling?
Yes, definitely. Well, have you heard of like GameStops? It's quite famous during this time because like lots of Redditors are like flooding the stock. They are buying as much as they can because first of all they love the store and second they just want to like sabotage the huge hedge fund company that chart on GameStops. So like making those huge evil company like lose millions literally.
But like, I think stock is sounds more complicated than gambling. I think because there's a lot of contributing factors to its price, and you know the contributing factors. Like you have the general idea of how things will go from your information, from your resource, from your analysis, but there's still chances that things may blow up. But you have like the general idea or the general pattern of how things go if you really studied it. So do you think it's sort of like gambling or is it not at all? Because my mom would say that stock is not gambling at all, dear.
I think it's calculated gambling.
Ooh.
And it's kind of less like gambling because you can kind of control it because from the event of the GameStops and the Redditor, right? It shows that everyone can control, everyone can change the result of the stocks. When in gambling, it's most of the times it's completely up to luck. But this one is like human doings. And yeah, it's more sophisticated. You have to study more. You have to know about a lot of things. When gambling is accessible to everyone, although if you study it, you do have things to study about. But yeah.
Well, I kind of view it like this though. Like there is like a professional investor, there is a professional gambler. So if like you practice a lot, you can become like be predator to like casino. I've watched some YouTube videos about like people trying to rob the casino because they are so good at blackjacks.
Oh, so the game you just play is the easiest for a casino to rob people money, right?
I wouldn't say blackjack is easy to like gain that much money. I don't think blackjack is what people excel in when they call themselves professional gamblers. It would rather be because blackjack is one of the games that's entirely up to luck, unless you rig the game, but it is very hard to do so. I think professional gamblers tends towards poker more.
Fun fact. So, the winning chances, I just googled that. So, blackjack, you have 49% winning chances, and slot machine, you have 1 in 50 million to win.
Why do people play slot machine?
I don't know.
It's so okay. Like I actually like watched some YouTube videos on this. Not exactly why, but like the how it looks. Like slot machines, first they are super easy to operate on, and some people have this idea of like, this is my lucky slot machine. I'm gonna one day I will achieve something from it, and the reward will be so high, it'll be worth it. And like the people who work at casinos even reserve those machines for you when you go to breaks, when you go to lunch, and you come back, and that machine will still be for you, and stuff like that. The service is immaculate there for these gamblers.
The one thing I really have questions about all the time is that, do casinos cheat, or they don't need to cheat, they get money anyway?
Yeah, they don't really need to, unless they have like this super money consuming customer, they might have to handle it. But like normally they don't. They already gain so much profit. For example, from Blackjack, like the game Blackjack, if you're the share person, you're already guaranteed profit all the time.
Like I've heard that when like for example like a team of gamblers that is very professional, when they win too much, the casino will ban them from entering. And even though like yes, Gok said that blackjack like is like the game for the casino to rob people's money, but it's actually one of the game that we have most chances to win. And this casinos still have the advantage because they advise the game to be like that, or else they wouldn't be like profitable.
I see. I mean, Casino's business is very prosperous. You have like the entire city dedicated to it, and also like I see things like online casinos very often these days. So I guess that with or without coronavirus, casinos are still everywhere. Speaking of online casinos, do you know like there is a procedure that you need to go through in order to become a legit online casino? So, if you are a player, you need to do your research. Like, you need to do your research whether this casino is legit or not. And two, you need to do a research whether this casino have invested in, you know, buying a true random machine. Like the last episode we talked about random machine, right? Like there's two type of random, true random and pseudo random. A true and good online casino company buy a true random generator, which is really expensive, but you need to check, you need to do your research. And also there's like a general web that tells people like what which casino is on blacklist, which casino is bad, which casino is good. So people take it very seriously, and it's really legit. It's not illegal as I thought it would be in the first place. And I think there's also a lot more type of games to be played in online casino. There's like a lot of various type of gambling you can do.
Uh, I saw like on our application that we just played, we actually can switch the game, not only Blackjack though. Like there are other games we can play in this application, even though it is called Blackjack.
Interesting. So do you think that this kind of game, I think that it's classified as a game, not a gambling, right? Because we don't lose real money unless we pay for it. And we can't regain money as well if we get something from this game. So it's not gambling. Or do you think this is gambling?
But I guess there is like a function for us to like convert our real money to their ship though. But there's no way for us to like convert that to
To convert back.
Yep. But that's like typical
Evil.
game like the gacha in like lots of games.
Well, on that, I can say that it's not gambling, dear. It's not gambling. It's just a game. We pay for fun, you know? It's not gambling at all. It's not gambling, okay?
Yeah, I think if you can profit from it, like in actual money, then that becomes gambling. But like this game, you can only do input, no outputs.
True.
That's that's evil, but it also, it also decreases the incentive of people paying. But it's a game. If it wants to be a legit casino, then you need to go through a procedure. But what I think casino will look like in the future, I do actually think that game will become a casino. Like people will try to modify games in order for it to look like gambling, because gambling is really addictive, like what Gok said, and the feeling of getting something back as a reward when you're about to lose something. It's an amazing feeling. Like when I play gacha game, actually I think that's sort of like a mild gambling as well. I think I'm gonna get something back with a very, very low chance, but I still play it because it's fun, it's enjoyable to click and lost my money.
Well, you could say that you get the item in the game, like as a result of your actual money.
That's true, and in some case you can probably sell your ID, but it's never gonna make up the same gold that you lost during the process of creating that ID. So it's not. I would say that people play gacha not because they want to sell their ID, and gain gold back from that. So like in the future, I think like you have already seen in the application or in the website as I checked yesterday, there's like a game called Bubble Witch Gambling, which they will roll out the beads, a very fancy beads in a table, and you get to decide, you get to bet which color of bead will it be, and it's just as simple as that. But I think that when it's played on computer, it looks prettier and it looks more like, a gambling game. It's not sort of like full gambling, but it's also a game as well. You can like collect points, have quests, and something on some casinos website, which lure people into playing it more. So I think that in the very near future, game will become gambling.
It is very easy to make a game into gambling though. Like you can just put profit on it. You make a game, pay people back, and it's immediately gambling.
We can try that. We can make a game and then try to pay people back in something. That would be a good startup idea though.
Yeah, but the hard part from online gambling is like you have to earn trust from your users enough to make profit from it.
Yeah, but like also every type of new, what do they say? Like Bitcoin, when it enters the market, it needs to gain trust as well. Trust is a very important factor that give casino or stocks or Bitcoins its value, right? So like how to gain trust is basically just pay back.
Yeah, so about the Bitcoin that Compound said, it's called cryptocurrency. The basic uh, the basic reason why people trust that it has a value is like the concept of money itself. Like it is limited because Bitcoin will generate in the future. Like there is a limited number that Bitcoin will be generated into the world. And secondly, because it is decentralized, but there is no organization specifically that regulate this type of currency. So it's like the internet money, you can call it that. And thirdly, because it's very secure. Like everyone, the basic concept is that everyone in the world has the copy of the transaction, and everyone will try to solve whether that transaction is legit or not. Like so millions of people are trying to prove that this transaction is true. Therefore, it is harder to like fake a transaction.
So it's basically just a money that changes its value all the time, right? Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it solely depends on demand and supply and Elon Musk's tweets.
For real. Okay. So, I guess that's my thoughts on gambling. Is that I think that gambling nowadays are already simple. You can bet on literally everything. Like you can bet whether how long will it take for me to walk from this chair to that door. You can even bet on the simplest thing whatsoever. So internet or globalization or digitalization, they actually helped people to connect to gambling, to like advanced gambling easier. But normal gambling, like playing cards, everybody can do that. It's already accessible to everyone. It's it doesn't require the internet or any technology to help solve it.
I actually think like have you heard of like the gladiators, like the Roman fighter who fought for entertainment? I think that like in the future people might bet on robots fighting or robot versus human.
Jeez, that's what that means that human will go down, right? Our moral compass will be lost if we actually made.
Yeah, it will be sort of unethical, but there's already a series called BattleBots.
I watched that too. Yeah, I don't know if people bet on it like officially though, but it's possible.
Yeah, it is like inventors will create a robot and they will fight each other, and it's nuts. Like I watched 3 videos yesterday, and it's nuts. There were flame, there were like sharp things, and there were like hammer.
So fun.
Is it like cool movements or is it
Some of
basically
them
just
are.
crash?
It depends.
Yeah,
I think
some
it
of them
depends.
are. You should check that out.
Okay. We've seen it in so many movies, right? Like robots vs robots. Also in a Disney movie called Big Hero 6, there's also robots fighting. But it begs the question whether if robots actually have consciousness, is it right to put them in like a battlefield? But I don't think that robots these days have consciousness though. I mean, it's not that advanced.
Not yet.
Yeah, but it depends on like how we define consciousness as well, though.
Oh, deep. I mean, I don't know about it so much. I have it, but I can't explain it.
Me too.
So yeah, maybe that sort of Guardian thing might happen. So it might be fun to watch. Or maybe our world would turn into like a Hunger Game kind of world where we put people into the same arena and we bet on each people. I think that's very plausible because like the backstory of like people in the Hunger Game, it's sort of like begin with a war and then one state rises and try to suppress other state, and the method of suppression, it's actually very realistic. You force people to send tributes and you kill them off every day for your entertainment. That's very discouraging for like other people in other districts.
That's dark.
Yeah, but it's very possible if if we erupted into a world war and a state rise up. It's very plausible that we end up the same place as Hunger Game. Minute of silence. RIP.
No comment.
No comment.
I have some more fun facts. Yesterday I googled that what is like the ring that the cockfight takes place. Like when the chicken like bite each other, it's called cockpit.
See, but cockfight. It's really something that's called animal abuse. The cocks fight each other. It becomes really violent. That it probably lose one of its organs, like its eyes. It normally lost its eyesight though. Like when it pecks each other, the spot that they often go is the eye. Like the trainer trained the cock to do that in order to win. I think it's considered animal abuse and it's illegal in Thailand to bet on cocks, but people still do it anyway because people enjoy gambling, right?
I think they bet on other things now.
I still see it though, cockfight.
Really?
Like when I go to countryside, I still see people
Oh, in the
do that all the
countryside.
time. Yeah, but not in the state.
Like I actually have a story. Like when I went to Hong Kong once, right? And there was this like toy building, and like the whole building was like selling toys, and I was trying to get there. I was trying to go up that building, but I misunderstood Google Maps, and I went to the building next to it instead. And as I was trying to get up, and I was with my sister, right? The security in front stopped my sister and was like, no, no, can't go, or something like that, right? And I was so confused, why not? And then when I come back again, they just literally just banned me from entering. So I sent my uncle to investigate it. And it turns out when he went up there and then came down, it turns out he told me the whole place was like a place for gambling on betting on horses.
Oh.
Oh, I see. I thought
And I
your
was so
uncle come back.
confused. Where are my toys? I was like,
It would be very epic if your uncle came back and was like, I have nothing left.
he told me like there was like this giant screen of like informations and horse racings and stuff, and there were tables for people to play other things to, and only adults. I almost got in like in the first time I tried to. I almost could have seen it myself.
What a shame.
I know, right?
Do you think it's illegal in China or it's like openly a casino?
They have casinos in Hong Kong though, so maybe it's not illegal.
Hong Kong and China are probably very different. But like, China has a very strict policy in like limiting people to play games. Like in gacha games, normally there's no guarantee whether how many times you roll the dice, the odds are still the same, and you're not gonna get any guarantee that you're gonna get a good item or not. But in China, they have a law that you need to have a guarantee. In every 100 rolls of die, you need to get one good item. I mean, that's a very huge change to a player right like me. When I play Chinese games, I get more items than when I play like Japanese games. But I think it's also more addictive to like have these kind of guarantee, because when you know you're gonna definitely get something, it gives you a feeling that you're investing, but actually you're not. You're investing in like basically, for me, you're investing for nothing.
Well, as long as you get some entertainment values from it, you get something.
Yeah, but not
Yeah,
too
but
much. You're gonna.
but
Some people
often
just
I invest too
live
much.
off that dopamine, and it's not good.
You can say that, but I didn't invest that much though.
Nice. Okay. I saw you playing that game with Plu, and I don't know if you can say that's not a lot.
How do you know that's a lot? I haven't said to anyone I've invested a lot.
Okay.
I invest only a very little, but I invest a lot of my time to that game. So if that's considered an investment, then I think it's not a very worthy investment at all. Could have used that time to do something better.
I don't know why, but every time we talk about like addiction, I think of like drugs or marijuana.
Oh, that's your idea of addiction. Is that something you want to try as well?
Nope, but like the concept is quite the same. Like it treats your brain to like think it's good for you, and so basically, like when you are addicted to that substances, it's probably because it make your brain release those happiness chemical or something.
But I mean, like in drugs, it forces your brains to use all of the happiness substances. So there's a high and a low, right? The high is where you use all of your happiness substance, and the low is when you run out of those substance. But in video games, I feel like it forces you to like, constantly releasing those kind of substance. So we don't feel that the low that much. It's not as destructive as drugs, because you can't feel very bad about yourself when you play game. Like normally, if you can control your mood, it isn't that destructive to you if you use it wisely.
I think addiction it kind of goes to like it can be anything. Like this is kind of not a common concept, but like addiction, it can apply to anything as long as like the terms are complete. Like for example, I know someone who is very insecure in themselves, like an alcoholic. When you use your addiction to make yourself lovable to a certain amount of time, because like for example, when we talk about drugs, it makes your brain release chemicals, but there are some triggers for people too that also makes their brain trigger some chemicals and you become addicted to it. For example, if I'm in the worst part of my life, I'm at the bottom of my life, right? But I'm still spending money on shopping things that I want, and when I get that thrill of getting the package, of getting the product, and then I want to feel that way again, and then I resell all my things and I keep buying new things and stuff like that. It doesn't end there, because a lot of this addiction comes from self-hatred and insecurities, and doing these things make you feel better about yourself for like one moment, and then it's gone, and then you crave for it more and stuff like that. So it actually can be anything. Anything can be addictive. It depends, like considering each person.
I'm gonna say a really cheesy thing, so be prepared. I'm gonna ask whether is love addiction?
Is love an addiction?
Never had one before, so I'm really gonna ask people who's experienced.
I think it's like when you have an addiction, you only feel pleasure from it in your conscience at the time. But love is a lot more complicated than that. I guess like if we're talking about lust or like thirsting over someone, that could be addictive. But love as in like actual functioning relationships, I don't think it's an addiction.
It shouldn't be, right? If you
Yeah, it
want a
shouldn't,
healthy
but I mean, it could be in some cases.
Back to Gok's speech for a little bit. It made me think that maybe we could be trained, like by the application, the internet. We could be influenced. Like, for example, we train dogs to like to make them do something for us, and we will give them treats.
Oh yeah, and that treat is dopamine for humans.
Yeah, sort of scary.
I think so, because I've watched a documentary about how Facebook, manipulate people to use ads. We've talked about that so many times, but they played on dopamine too. Like, they think that you're gonna be interested in this content, and then they feed you this content constantly. And, they think that you might be interested in this one certain branch. They feed you a type of entertainment first, and then more intense content about this type of thing. And they finally, maybe they can train your personal likeness into one thing. But I don't know whether if Netflix documentaries making things very dramatic, because it often does. But I think it's very plausible if somebody wants to train a human to like something. We're not even conscious enough to realize whether that's happening or not.
Like other social media platforms such as Instagram. Instagram is an addictive thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it literally like everyone has the same source of dopamine from Instagram. When you get attention, when you get appreciated or accepted by your peers, by the people online, and that gives you dopamine, and then you keep going back for more. I need to post more pictures, people will love me for this. That is also kind of an addiction too, from the way that these social media platforms manipulate people.
Okay, so I guess that's it. This is all for like gambling today and what we think about it. Mostly we talk about addiction as well, because those two things are very related. And I think that as long as you can control it, and as long as it's a source of pleasure, not a source of suffer for you, I think it's fine to gamble sometimes. But I'm not gonna do that because it's not a source of my pleasure. And if any of you guys have ever, gambled before, you can message us. Like, what is the furthest you go for gambling? And is it rewarding, or is it something that you regret doing?
And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's all Let's Talk Stupid. And you can mail us your answers to let's talk stupid.stupid@gmail.com. And you can follow Gok on
So it's ARNENCHA Anincha. That's my Instagram. If you want to know more about gambling, I can be sure to help. If you want to know more, you can DM me. Although that would be kind of weird, but I am open to all DMs.
Oh, dear. Okay. So we want to thank you for participating in our podcast today and share your extremely fun insight on gambling. And we hope that in another episode where you are also an expert in, we can see you again. And we also thanks our listener for listening to us on this podcast.
See you next week.